So if you want to build this MOC, or something like it, this video is here to help. I'm going to walk you through my process for building this MOC, show you some instructions and the basic frame for this character, as well as break down some of the techniques and the parts that I've used here. Let's go. So this is KARDYMIS, Unholy Ascendant, and I built this as a part of a secret Santa collab that I did with a bunch of fine folks in the Bionicle community. Basically, we kind of just drew names out of a theoretical hat, and everyone had to build a MOC that was sort of like a present to that person. They weren't going to be actually like sent that MOC or anything, it was just this sort of gift of like, oh hey, I made this cool thing for you. And in return, another builder would of course make something cool for you as well. So much like Christmas time when we did it, you know, it was the season of giving. You build something for someone, they build something for you. It was very nice. So hey, you know, maybe next time it's Christmas, you could get some friends together and do something similar perhaps. Anyway, I was tasked with building a gift for a man named Hafnax. Be sure to check out his Instagram, there'll be a link in the description below. I always loved his really cool self-MOC, which was called KARDYMIS. So of course, here's the original version here. Now, I liked the idea of building my own version of this character for his present, so I don't know, I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to give it some other kind of like twist or unique personal touch. So I combined it with elements of another MOC of his called Setharus Unholy Ascendant. So I took the basic color scheme of him and then kind of just mashed it together with the basic ideas of KARDYMIS to create this MOC. And hey, maybe if there's multiple MOCs that you've seen that other builders have made, maybe you could do the same. Smash them together and make some unholy super beast. It's up to you. Could be a cool idea if you're looking for a bit of inspiration on what to build. So a big inspiration for building KARDYMIS was to use some of the awesome pieces that I'd got from some of the Chima Ultra Build sets, specifically that of the set Chi Kragger and also the set Chi Larvel. Now, I specifically wanted to use these snazzy armor pieces, as well as this awesome chest piece that allows you to insert a Zamasphere inside. So I decided it was best to use those as my starting point. I love the idea of these armor pieces kind of mimicking the look of Jafar from Aladdin. I wanted this MOC to have a real kind of like sinister quality to it, with kind of like flowing robes and almost like a little bit of charm, you know, similar to Jafar from Aladdin. And, you know, to create that vibe, I figured in giving him a cane was certainly fitting for that, so that was a bit of justification for that choice there. And speaking of justification, I always made sure to have a lot of kind of smoother textures on this MOC to reflect elements of that. Plus, I felt smoother textures just kind of made sense with him having that awesome waist cape thing that he's got going on. And that was also a reason I used these specific armor pieces to make up the upper arm design. I felt that they kind of looked a little bit kind of cloth-like, so it just kind of blended in with the textures and the cloth and just seemed perfect. Now, these specific pieces came from the Darth Maul Ultra Build set, if you're curious and want to get some yourself. And on the subject of arms, let me give you a bit of a cheeky breakdown on how you could build these arms yourself. Now, these system cone pieces that we're seeing here, these are so helpful for MOCs. So if you don't have any currently in your collection, might be worth getting some because they're really, really cool pieces. Now, obviously the arms just connect to the torso with some ball joints, but let me show you a few angles of the torso without the armor on so that you can see what it looks like. And if that's not enough for you, here are some instructions for how you could build the torso yourself. Let's start off with some of the pieces that you'll need first of all. And then we'll go into how we're actually building this guy. Now, I'm going to be talking through these instructions here, so feel free to mute me if you want to just focus on the techniques, or even if you're doing the, you know, see the next step, pause it, play it again, pause it, da-da-da. You don't want me talking through that, so feel free to mute if you don't want that. But by all means, while you're building this, feel free to make this design yourself. I give you full license to use it, but hey, if you do build it, let me know. I'd love to see what sort of stuff you come up with, but there's no need to ask or anything. I give you full permission if you want to make it yourself. While I was designing this torso, it was a pretty similar process to making any MOC. It required a lot of trial and error. I knew where I wanted the armor to go, so I just kept kind of messing around with these designs until I achieved the look I wanted. I think one of the best things I learned from building this torso was the idea of getting those sort of major pieces that you think are going to make up the bulk of the sort of front-facing torso and then kind of building around that. So for example, I got that Chima torso piece, put a ball joint in it, and then just sort of branched out of that to build the rest of the torso. So yeah, if you're looking for a good sort of like starting point for your own kind of custom torsos, do that. Grab that sort of like really important piece that you think is going to be the sort of like I guess kind of like the chest or whatever kind of like focal point you want the chest or torso to have. Yeah, grab those pieces first and then just start kind of like building off of the connection points and just kind of seeing where it takes you. And of course, if it doesn't work the first time, try it a second time. Might work the third time, might work the fourth time, might actually work the first time. I guess it's just about seeing where the bricks take you, you know? Yeah. Oh, and if you're wondering where that cape piece comes from, it's from the Star Wars Kylo Ren Ultra Build figure. But I think that said, it's fairly easy to replace that with any other kind of capes from any other construction sets. So feel free to use any construction cape that fits or works. Feel free to adapt it yourself. Or heck, maybe if you want to, use some non-Lego cape pieces. Just some random cloth that you might have lying around the house could get the job done, if that's the route you want to go down. So that's how you build the torso, but now I had a request for people asking how I built the legs on this MOC. So here's another breakdown of exactly that. But first, here are the pieces that you'll need to make it. Now, I mentioned that I had a request asking for how this specific part of the MOC was made. Now, by all means, if there's a MOC that I've made that you want to see instructions for, or see a review sort of video like this for, let me know, and I'll do my best to put it on the channel. Now, if you want to browse through some of the MOCs that I've made, check my social media links in the description below, and browse all the different stuff that I've made, and if something takes your fancy, I'll see what I can do about making a video specifically focusing on that. Your suggestions are always welcome. And that is how you build the leg design. And that's it for KARDYMIS. Hopefully the insight into what inspired this MOC, as well as those instructions, have inspired you to make something cool yourself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next MOC review.